What's up everyone and welcome back to the channel. In our first news, Charles Oliveira has made it clear that he's not done chasing greatness inside the octagon. Fresh off an impressive submission win over Mateusz Gamrot at UFC Rio last month, the former lightweight champion is setting his sights on something big. During a recent interview on UFC Fight Pass, DeBronx revealed that his next goal is to challenge Max Holloway for the BMF title. But according to Oliveira, that's just the first step in his bigger plan to reclaim UFC gold. Oliveira, who's widely regarded as one of the most dangerous submission artists in the sport, sounded confident and motivated as ever. He said his current focus is on capturing the BMF belt, but once that goal is achieved, he's coming right back for the undisputed lightweight championship. In his words, "My goal now is to fight for the BMF title against Holloway. After I win that title, I'm going to fight for the UFC undisputed title again." His statement drew cheers from the audience, with many fans applauding his determination to climb back to the top. It's clear that Oliveira's ambitions haven't faded since losing the lightweight belt. If anything, his dominant win over Gamrot reminded everyone that DeBronx is still one of the most dangerous contenders in the division. With his elite grappling, ever-improving striking, and fearless mindset, Oliveira remains a serious threat to anyone standing between him and another shot at UFC gold. As the crowd erupted, the announcer fittingly closed the segment by saying, "The champion has a name, Charles DeBronx Oliveira." It was a powerful reminder that for Oliveira, the mission is far from over. His eyes are locked on the BMF title, and beyond that, a return to the top of the lightweight division. And before we continue, make sure to leave a like on the video and subscribe to help support the channel. Moving on to another news, former UFC fighter Josh Thomson has openly disagreed with Joe Rogan's recent comments about the potential mega fight between Jon Jones and Alex Pereira. During one of his podcast episodes, Rogan claimed that a showdown between Jones and Pereira would be the biggest fight in human history. But according to Thomson, that statement might be a bit of an exaggeration. During a recent episode of the Weighing In podcast with John McCarthy, Thomson argued that no matchup, not even Jones versus Pereira, could surpass the historic fight between Khabib and Conor at UFC 229. That event shattered all previous records, pulling in a massive 2.4 million pay-per-view buys, making it the most watched MMA fight of all time. Thomson explained that the combination of animosity, chaos, and pure star power surrounding Khabib and Conor was something the sport has never seen again. Thomson said, "In MMA, you still have Conor and Khabib. That fight did 2.5 or maybe even 2.6 million views. I don't think this fight would scratch that. Maybe back in the pay-per-view boom days it could have come close, but not now. There was just too much animosity. Conor was a massive star. Jon has never been one to deliver those kinds of numbers." He continued by clarifying his stance, saying that if the discussion was about excitement and current relevance, then yes, Jones versus Pereira is definitely the biggest fight the UFC could make right now. Fans are hyped about it, and the matchup itself is electrifying. But to call it the biggest fight in human history, Thomson completely disagreed. "At this moment, it's the biggest fight to make. There's no doubt about that," he said. "But calling it the biggest fight ever? I can't go that far." Despite disagreeing with Rogan's claim, Thomson made it clear he's still thrilled about the idea of Jones and Pereira finally facing off. He added that if the UFC ever books that matchup, he'll be front and center watching, just like every other fan. Moving on to another news, Ilia has released a statement following his controversial loss at UFC 321. The event, held at the Apex, featured several intense moments, but none drew more attention than the heavyweight clash between Dolgarian and Waldo Cortez Acosta. The bout quickly became one of the most talked about fights of the night due to a confusing sequence that left both fans and fighters frustrated. Early in the first round, Ilia unleashed a barrage of powerful punches that had Cortez Acosta covering up against the cage. Just when it appeared that Ilia had secured his second UFC victory, referee Mark Smith stepped in to stop the fight. However, the momentum changed instantly when Cortez Acosta signaled that he had been poked in the eye. After the replay was reviewed, it appeared there was contact near the eye area, and the referee allowed the fight to resume instead of declaring a finish. Moments later, Cortez Acosta landed a massive right hand that dropped Ilia and secured a shocking comeback win. The decision caused widespread debate across the MMA community, with many questioning whether the replay should have been used in that manner. Following the fight, Ilia addressed the situation publicly, releasing a detailed statement expressing his frustration and disappointment with how everything unfolded. In his message, he wrote that he wasn't entirely sure if his finger made direct contact with the eye, but believed it was near it. He pointed out that the referee didn't officially call for a timeout when he stopped the fight, which meant the bout was technically over. According to Ilia, the result should not have been reversed after the replay, as the rules don't allow for such use of video review once a stoppage has already been made. He added that his opponent sat down, rested, and watched the replay before the fight resumed, something Dolgarian claimed gave Cortez Acosta an unfair advantage. He stated that the fight continued irregularly and that what happened was against the rules. In his words, he wasn't asking for anything more than fairness and honesty. He made it clear that he's not someone who runs from defeat, and he always respects every opponent and every outcome, but not when the rules are broken and a fighter is robbed of a rightful victory. He concluded by saying that the sport has never seen a situation like this before, and it's something that needs to be addressed by the commission. Another layer to this controversy is the connection between Delia and Tom Aspinall. The two are teammates, and ironically, Aspinall's recent fight with Ciryl Gane also ended due to eye pokes, sparking its own wave of criticism and debate. In Aspinall's case, the fight was stopped because he couldn't see, leading some fans to accuse him of quitting. With these incidents happening back-to-back, the issue of eye pokes and how they're handled by referees has once again become a major talking point in the MMA world. Moving on to another news, Daniel Cormier and Bisping have shared their thoughts on the controversial anti-Delia situation following UFC 321. During their discussion on the Apex card, both former champions expressed disbelief at what unfolded inside the octagon. Bisping started by saying that in all his years of being involved in mixed martial arts, he had never seen anything quite like it. He called it one of the strangest and most unprecedented moments in UFC history, explaining that the sequence left everyone watching completely confused. Cormier agreed, saying it was definitely a first for him too. He added that the entire situation was bizarre from start to finish, especially the way the fight was stopped, reviewed, and then restarted. According to Cormier, this was the kind of moment that would spark endless debate within the MMA community, because it blurred the lines of how rules should be applied when replay. Reviews are used mid-fight. Bisping then noted that people are naturally going to draw comparisons to Tom Aspinall's recent incident with Ciryl Gane, given that Delia is one of Aspinall's main training partners. However, both agreed that the two situations shouldn't be directly linked. Cormier said it was just strange timing and pure coincidence, not something that could be compared fairly. They went on to discuss how Waldo Cortez Acosta handled the situation after the restart, acknowledging that despite the confusion, he showed composure and went on to finish the fight decisively. Bisping remarked that it was almost surreal how Waldo managed to recover from being nearly stopped to landing the knockout blow moments later. Cormier concluded by saying it was one of the craziest and most unpredictable moments they've witnessed inside the octagon, something fans and officials will be talking about for a long time. Moving on to another news, Justin Gaethje still plans on retiring if he doesn't get a title shot next. According to his manager Ali Abdelaziz, Justin is standing firm on his word that if the UFC skips him and gives the next title opportunity to Paddy, he will walk away from the sport for good. In a recent interview, Ali made it clear that Gaethje is serious about his decision and that there's no bluff in his statement. He said that Justin has always been a man of his word, and if he gets passed over again, he'll retire and never fight in the UFC again. Ali explained that Gaethje has already done everything needed to earn another shot at the lightweight belt, and seeing someone like Paddy jump ahead would be unacceptable. He added that Justin has faced the toughest competition in the division and has proven time and again that he belongs at the very top. For him, it's championship or nothing at this point. The message from his team is clear. If the title shot doesn't come next, Justin Gaethje is ready to close this chapter of his career once and for all. Moving on to another news. The UFC is dealing with yet another major controversy after a fighter was reportedly released following a gambling scandal. The latest Apex card was supposed to be all about Steve Garcia and David Onama, but things took a shocking turn when talk began circulating that one of the fights on the card might have been fixed. The matchup between Yadir Delva and Isaac Dolgarian quickly became the center of attention after reports emerged of massive betting action shifting heavily toward Delva just before the fight began. Originally, Dolgarian opened as the betting favorite at 240, but within hours, the line tightened to 160 as big money started coming in on Delva. When the fight finally took place, Delva won by first-round rear naked choke, which only fueled suspicions. Social media immediately lit up with reactions, as several well-known figures in the MMA community began questioning what had just happened. A report shared on X by Fuffy Sizzin pointed out that Delva had previously trained with James Krause, who was banned by the UFC due to a similar betting scandal. The report also highlighted that 5 major bets were placed on Delva winning in round 1, and those bets were flagged as suspicious by multiple sportsbooks. Betting odds for Delva's first round win shifted dramatically from plus 865 to plus 475 within hours. The MMA guru also commented on the matter, noting that the line for Dolgarian dropped from 270 to 150 in just 30 minutes, calling it an alarming shift. Meanwhile, journalist Harry Mack shared that the FBI had notified the UFC about the unusual betting activity and gave them hours to UFC chose to let it proceed, which led Harry to claim that the promotion was complicit in allowing a potentially fixed fight to happen. However, not everyone agreed with that take. Chael's son fired back, saying that Harry provided no solid evidence and that the UFC had contractual obligations with its fighters. He added that the timeline given by Harry didn't make sense and urged people to let professionals handle the situation before jumping to conclusions. UFC fighter Zach Paga also weighed in, saying that scandals like this are extremely damaging to the sport. He emphasized that if gamblers lose trust in betting on fights, the sport risks losing a major part of its fan base and financial support. After the fight, Dolgarian received harsh criticism for his performance. Analyst Michael Kisa called it an absolute trash performance, saying Dolgarian fought like an amateur and didn't look like he belonged in the UFC. Kisa added that there are plenty of fighters who are more deserving of a roster spot. Things got even more complicated when fans resurfaced an interview Dolgarian did with MMA Junkie Radio, where he said fighters should receive a percentage of winnings from people who bet on them. He stated, "Don't bet on me unless you're paying me some percentage. I'm the one doing the work, putting my life on the line, training every day, sacrificing my social life. If you're betting on me, I want some of it." Following the uproar, reports confirmed that Dolgarian had been released from the UFC late last night. According to Ariel Helwani, the official reason given for his release was his loss to Delva, but multiple sources confirmed the timing was tied to the ongoing controversy. Helwani also revealed that Dolgarian had recently signed a new contract before the fight, meaning this wasn't a case of the UFC simply not renewing a deal. That fact has led many to believe that the promotion discovered something serious enough to justify an immediate release. Moving on to another news, Paddy Pimblett has sent a strong warning to Ilia ahead of their potential clash. In a recent interview, Paddy didn't hold back when asked how he sees a fight with Ilia going down. With full confidence, he stated that he would absolutely smash Ilia's face in, and that he's better everywhere the fight goes. Paddy made it clear that he's not intimidated by Ilia's hype, and he believes fans have put the Spanish-Georgian fighter on too high of a pedestal. According to him, people act like Ilia is some unbeatable force, but he plans to bring him crashing back down to earth in a big way. When pressed to elaborate on his game plan, Paddy explained that whether the fight stays on the feet or goes to the ground, he sees himself dominating in every aspect. He pointed out that Ilia's striking might look sharp, but once he steps in the cage with him, all that hype will disappear. Paddy confidently said that he can outwork, outgrapple, and outstrike Ilia, emphasizing that his overall skill set is being underestimated by fans and analysts alike. He also mentioned how people have started to act like Ilia is this big, unstoppable force in the featherweight division, but he believes it's all temporary hype. Paddy said that he's seen this pattern before, where fighters get hyped up after a few strong performances, only to fall hard when faced with real competition. In his words, he'll be the one to expose Ilia's weaknesses and show everyone that he's not as dominant as people think. Paddy's comments come as talks of a possible fight between the two continue to heat up. Fans have been calling for this matchup for quite some time, especially after their previous altercations outside the octagon. Whether or not the UFC books the fight next remains to be seen, but one thing's for sure, Paddy is ready to settle the score and prove that he's on another level. Moving on to another news, Alexandre Pantoja has sent a clear warning to Joshua Van ahead of their upcoming fight at UFC 323. The reigning flyweight champion appears more confident than ever as he prepares to defend his title once again, this time against a young and hungry contender. Pantoja is entering the bout as a heavy favorite, with betting odds ranging between 225 and 265. And judging by his recent comments, the Brazilian isn't shying away from that status at all. In a recent interview with Home Op Fight, Pantoja spoke with his usual confidence and even predicted exactly how he plans to finish the fight. He stated that the matchup is going to be easy, and that fans should expect another dominant performance. He went as far as to say that if he could place a bet on himself, he would bet on a submission victory. Pantoja said, "Why not a submission, bro? Easy, easy money." He mentioned that in his last two fights, the odds on him winning by submission were high, and those who believed in his grappling made a lot of money. This time, he predicts the same outcome, hinting that a choke finish could once again be how he closes the show. Pantoja emphasized that he feels at the peak of his career right now, both physically and mentally. Having already defended his flyweight crown 4 times, he's widely considered one of the top pound-for-pound fighters in the world. The champion said he respects Joshua Van's talent, but made it clear that experience will play a big role in this fight. He explained that while Van has looked good in his recent performances, he hasn't faced the same level of competition that Pantoja has throughout his career. Joshua Van, on the other hand, is entering the biggest fight of his life, riding a 5-fight winning streak. He's coming off an impressive victory over longtime contender Brandon Royval, which earned him this title shot. However, many analysts believe that that facing a champion as seasoned and aggressive as Pantoja will be a completely different challenge. Pantoja ended his message with confidence, saying he's ready to show once again why he's the best flyweight in the world. He promised that fans will see him perform at his best, and that the result will speak for itself. As the fight draws closer, the champion's warning to Joshua Van couldn't be clearer. He's coming to finish the job quickly and decisively at UFC 323.